All right, grown-ups, it's just our time. I love the babies, but to help you, I gotta speak my mind. This segment's here to help you grow with book reviews, lessons, and things you'll be glad to know. If your little one's restless or looking to play, send them to my other playlist. The read alouds there will brighten their day. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Teacher Lady Show. I'm Miss Erica, the Teacher Lady, your fairy godparent when it comes to sharing joyful stories and growing young minds. Today's segment is Behind the Book, where we go beyond the pages to get to the heart of the story. And the book we're going to be reviewing today is called Anansi the Spider by Gerald McDermott. This is a colorful folktale rooted in West African tradition that teaches us the power of persistence, resourcefulness, and of course, family. Now, this week's theme is perseverance, and this book gave us 6 examples of just that. How do we utilize the community we have around us to get past the challenges in our lives, especially when things feel impossible? Okay. Now, if you have not already done so, be sure to go check out our Teacher Lady Reads episode on this book. But for now, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. You ready? Let's grow. Summary in my own words. Anansi the Spider is a folktale from the Ashanti people. And essentially, the message of the story is that you need the people around you. Life will get hard. Okay, we know that. But it is important for you to utilize community. It is important for you to move past difficult things. And it's important for you to not give up. And overall, that was the message and the point of this story. Take home message and the target age group. Again, I would say that the message is truly that life is going to get difficult and you need people to help you past that. Now, in terms of age group, it is a story, I would say, for about children 5 years old and up. Some of the verbiage with the difference in language and culture, being that this book is traditionally a West African folktale and most of us are in the United States of America, there is some wording that might be challenging for younger children, but overall the pictures are beautiful, bright, and I feel like if you wanted to have a discussion, neurotypical children 5 years old and up will be able to get the take-home message of this story, who this book is for, and who should add it as a resource to their home library. So this book is for children who really struggle with utilizing community. Like when they face an obstacle or a hardship, maybe they are willing to try persevering past it, but they have a hard time asking for help. Because the power in this story was the fact that he needed all 6 of his sons to get out of all the situations that tried to take him out, right? Like he got picked up by a falcon at one point and he got ate by another animal at one point. It was just all of these different situations. And each son had a special gift, and that special gift was the reason why they were able to save their dad. And so when you think about the overall kind of underlying tones and the messages of the story, children who really struggle with relying on community could use this book. Children who feel like when something bad happens, it's over, it's the end of the world, could use this book because it really does highlight the importance of perseverance. Now, on the flip side of that, I believe if you have a classroom, if you're an educator, or if you're a parent and you don't have many diverse books on your shelf, diversity is not just race. We know race is a social construct, but ethnicity and nationality and where a person is from, this book is going to help to brighten your bookshelf in that way. Because how often do you get to read a West African folktale? Do your children know about folk tales, the history of them? All of those reasons are why I would add this book to my home library or to your classroom or school library, okay? Really get children to kind of expand their minds and get to know the stories that surround us, because storytelling really does make our world a special one. Glows. I have multiple glows for this story. The first glow is actually the introduction of the book. I feel like before we even get started, it gives good background on the Ashanti people and where this story came from. Now, Anansi the Spider is a story that has been rewritten and retold and published multiple times by different authors with the same underlying message. And so by opening up the book and kind of sharing some of that and sharing some of the traditions of the Ashanti people, I believe that it gave beautiful kind of context to what it is we were about to open. So that's the first glow. My second glow is definitely the art and the design of the book. I couldn't find it specified because Gerald is the only one that's listed on the book, so I'm not sure if he's also the illustrator. But just overall, the designs throughout the pages of the prints from the Ashanti people, I thought was such a glow. It really does make the story pop. And it's just really beautiful work. I'm a person, I cannot stand spiders. So for me to look at this story and for me to see so much color and so much brightness was just like, it did what it was supposed to do. So that is another glow for me. And then the last glow would have to be the final page of the book. So complete spoiler alert. Hopefully you've already watched the read aloud. But at the end of the story, he has to choose kind of who to give the moon to. Okay. And it's not called a moon, it's called a bright light. But because all of his sons helped him to survive, he has to decide, well, who should get this light, right? Like who should get this appreciation? And so he goes into what we would consider prayer to ask God, you know, which one of my sons deserve this light? And when his sons start arguing around why they're the ones who deserve the light, God decides to put it in the sky. And that's what we now call today the moon. And it's really this way of saying that we're all connected. Like it wasn't one of his sons that helped him to survive these unfortunate situations. It was all of them. It really was unity. And the reason why the light didn't go to one person is because it wasn't one person who did the work and it wasn't one person who helped him to survive. And so just that overall message of us all being included, important, having value is special. It really is special. Kind of side detour, but I think a lot of the times when we have students in a classroom or when we have children, we have multiple children, we like to compare. And each one of our children or students have a different gifting. And so being that at the beginning of the book, the 6 children's gifting were kind of written out, but some seemed more important than others. And then all of them ended up being needed was also really special. So many glows for this book. Overall, be sure to check out the read aloud and definitely go order yourself a copy so that you can have this consistent reminder of what it means to persevere. Grows, or what I think could have been done differently. You know, I struggle to give a grow for this book. I'm not going to give one. I don't know that I really have one, but the main reason why I struggle is I don't critique culture. It's not my thing, never really been into it. And this is a folk tale. This is a folk tale that has been passed down generation after generation. This is a story that gets to continue to be passed down and shared because this book was created. The message is extremely clear. The pictures are vibrant, and the Ashanti people are definitely talked about and represented in this story. So no grows for me. You might find one yourself, but overall, I feel like it is a short story that really came to introduce this concept of community, unity, and perseverance, and I appreciated every single page. Let's keep going. How to utilize this book to have a more robust discussion with your child. The first is I would read this book multiple times. This is definitely a book that the second time you read it, you're gonna get something more than you did the first time. And so the first time I would do a regular read through, but then the second time I would go into discussion. At the beginning of the book, for example, it mentions the talents of the 6 sons. Now, I would ask my child, which one of these gifts they call them gifts, not talents, do you think is more important? Do you think is more valuable? That is a really powerful discussion because all of their talents and gifts are needed throughout the story. I would also ask your child, what would be theirs? Okay, so there is the son called See Trouble, who had the gift of seeing trouble a long way off. Like, what is your version of your talents or of your gifts? I would definitely bring that in, because when we are persevering, all this week we're talking about perseverance. And when we are persevering, it is important to remember how beautiful we are, how talented we are, that things get tough, but we know that they get better because we remembered when they were better. Optimism is crucial when it comes to persevering. And in that optimism, you understanding and knowing your talents, if you haven't done so, check out our week on confidence, because it definitely ties into this, helps. It helps to be able to persevere and move past tough situations. So all of kind of those points can easily be made reading this story, pausing and talking about it with your child. See if they can figure out the message of the story without just telling them. Okay? So many ways to take this book. I hope you get it and choose at least one. Let's keep going. Final thoughts. Anansi the spider really is a beautiful reminder of the importance of storytelling, different types of stories, culture, community, and perseverance. It is a short story with a powerful message, and I encourage you to go check it out. Along those same lines, I want to say that I am also an author and illustrator of 9 books at this point, to which those books encourage something called the Empathy Library, a very straightforward, pay it forward program to get books to children in need on purpose. Okay, so we want to get intentional books. If that child is from Honduras and they love dinosaurs, we want to get them books in Spanish with dinosaurs. Okay, that is the point of this project. Be sure to go check that out on the website, as well as sign up for the newsletter so that you never miss a new week or a new topic. This is week number 23. So thank you for staying with me this long. I hope you've learned something special, and be sure to check out our last episode of the week, Friday, where we wrap everything up. Until next time, remember to enjoy the moment, or go be a joy in the moment. Bye.